In this video, we're going to review our uses of the subjunctive, not the subjunctive, why do we keep saying that? El imperfecto, see some examples of it that you will be asked to write on a quiz coming up. So we want to remember that when you're describing people, you're using ser, which in the preterite, or not the preterite, oh my gosh, the imperfect is era, eras, era, éramos, eran. Talking about people's age in the past is always tener, tenía, tenías, tenían, whatever. How you were feeling is always in the imperfect, even if you were only sad for 5 seconds. Estaba muy triste, se sentía triste, I was feeling sad, me sentía triste. When you're setting up something, weather is always the imperfect. If you're saying it was sunny, it was cloudy, etc. Obviously, if it rained, period, that's the preterite. Location is always in the imperfect. And we're going to take a look at there was or there were. So on this set of your vocabulario, you've got some of these examples. Cuando tenía 5 años, cuando estaba en el segundo grado, cuando vivíamos en Portugal, cuando era niño. You can leave off the un or una there. You get to do that a lot in Espanol. Telling time, remember that in the present tense, you would say es la una, but every other time is son las 6, son las 4, son las 5:30, whatever. And so in the imperfect, you turn ser from es into era, the imperfect, and you turn son into eran, because that goes from present to imperfect. So all the times are eran, except for 1 o'clock, era, la una. Estaba en un cerro, tenía 30 años. It was hot, hacía calor. It was cold, estaba frío or hacía frío. There was or there were something. These are forms of haber. Haber is a very unusual verb that you'll see different ways to use it this year, but in the simplest way, it means there was or there were, or in the present tense, there is or there hay. Hay un chico, hay muchos chicos. There's a boy, there are many boys. Past tense, you have the preterite or the imperfect. Imperfect is used for setting the scene, describing situations. So, había un lago, there was a lake. Había una tienda, there was a store. This is usually used for disasters or big events. Hubo una fiesta. There was a big party. Hubo un terremoto. There was an earthquake. So if you're never sure between hubo and había, go with había. No one will ever misunderstand you, and you wouldn't get it wrong on the AP test probably. What else? There's telling time. It was a small town. You're describing it. So you see that was in English, and you think, oh, fue. No. You're describing something in the past. So setting the scene is always imperfect. And there's another age. Los gemelos, the twins. Gemelos is twins. Tenían 15 años cuando. A little bit of extra here, things that you didn't learn in Spanish 1 or 2 or probably 3. If you want to say AM or PM, then you're saying de la noche, de la tarde, de la mañana. You'll also see en and por used with both of those. En is pretty specific. Por is usually pretty general, but sometimes they're interchangeable. So por la mañana, in the morning, or you don't usually hear a definite time with that, but sometimes you do. They're all interchangeable in English, and don't stress about it too much. But de is for specific AM and PM. Mañana, I forget why I wrote this on here, but a little side lesson. La mañana, the morning, is technically feminine, de la mañana. El mañana, if you were to read a poem with that, it's the tomorrow as in the, what's the word for it? Like the tomorrow someday, like a poetic form of tomorrow. Not literally tomorrow. You would never say the tomorrow. If you're saying el mañana, it's like tomorrowland, the tomorrow that may someday come, etc. Muy bien, gracias por mirar.